Well, good morning, Nat. I'm excited for today's podcast.
I'm excited too. The days are getting a little chillier. So, what do you got for us today?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's anything to warm us, but as we think about this, formerly known as travel, we would go somewhere in the winter, spring break, and stuff like that to get away from the Chicago winters and stuff like that. So, today we're going to talk about something that you're in the water, right? From that standpoint, but this probably doesn't apply to you and I, although I probably could have used this in my life as I've almost drowned 3 times in my life. I've fallen through lakes and fallen out of boats in the middle of the lake, that kind of stuff. And so water and me, I'm just lucky to be alive. Almost drowned in a hot tub, got sucked into the the mechanism that sucks all the water down, the filtration system. So yeah, life is when swimming, water and me. So we're gonna have a guest, and we're gonna talk a little bit about swimming today. So Sean, will you let our guest in, please? Well, welcome back, Scott.
Hey, Pete, thanks for having me.
Well, we were so excited when you told us about Big Blue that we thought we'd have you back on. You were so much fun before. And I know that with Big Blue, you are the chief development officer for them. So again, involved with level 5 investments. But Big Blue, what a cool idea from that standpoint.
Yeah, Big Blue is awesome. It hits home for me. I've got a 5-year-old and he loves swimming, and we actually built the Big Blue up in Johns Creek, Georgia here, and he goes 3 days a week, and I can just see such a difference in his skills. He's really come a long way.
Yeah, well, it's a great name. So tell us, there's a lot of stuff out there in terms of swim lessons and stuff like that, but what was the big idea to come up with Big Blue?
So Big Blue, Chris DeYoung was the co-founder of Big Blue out of Chicago, and he's a world, national swimmer. He's on the U.S. national team. He just missed the Olympics twice in 2004 and 2008 by 0.3 of a second. He trained with Michael Phelps and Ryan Lochte and all those guys, and he just wanted to get back to his love and passion for it. I think he lost it, and so helping kids really learn to swim, he started to have joy for swimming again. He did that back in 2010 in Wilmette, Chicago. But anyways, so the reason why we bought it, why Level 5 invested in it after basically Chris Kenny, our managing partner, his brother, has 5 kids. They live in Chicago, and they were looking for a swim school. So they called the local swim school, which is one of our competitors. And they said, yeah, we can't get any of your family in there for 3 months. Call us back, come back in 3 months. And so Michael called Chris and said, hey, I think you've got something here. You should really look at this space. I think there's an opportunity here. And so then that's when they started to dig in a little bit and they found Big Blue. And what they loved about Big Blue is they invested over $3 million in Lesson Buddy, which is their technology, their proprietary system.
Oh, wow.
So we had that's
amazing.
Data.
$3 million in technology. So, okay, let's step back, right? So there's a lot of people playing in the swim lesson space, right?
Sure.
So if we talk about Big Blue, right, came up with the concept, want to get back into the passion of swimming, want to help kids, right? Because I think it's what, like 95% of kids, they need swim lessons, right? I mean, that's just.
Yeah, it's like vaccination rates, right? Every parent, formalized swim lessons prevents drowning by 88%. So, and drowning is the number 1 cause of death between kids 1 to 4. So it's a horrible stat, and it's one of parents' biggest fears. But it's also one of a child's biggest moments, and we always like to say we inspire big moments in kids' lives, because when they learn to swim on their own, life goes from black and white to color. Right? They feel like a sense of confidence. They start to think they can do more in life.
Got it. So all right, let's talk about. So there's lots of different places I can go get swim lessons, but as a parent, let's go through one at a time. What separates Big Blue? Why should I bring my kid to Big Blue versus some of the other competitors? What's the first thing?
The biggest thing, frictionless real estate, right? We put these schools where mom or dad are going every day. They're going to drop a son or daughter off at daycare or school, and then they're going to Target or they're going to Whole Foods or something like that. And so Big Blue swim schools are going to be in those same real estate locations. A A lot of our competitors chase real estate deals, so looking for tenant improvement dollars from the landlord. And so they're off the beaten path a little bit. Like if you go into Chicago and you go on our Western Ave location, it's right on Western Ave. So you drive by it, you're going to see it, you're going to come in, you're going to want to learn more. And so when we put a Big Blue in a market, we tend to capture about 50% of the addressable market within that 10-minute drive time because of the visibility and where we put the schools. We're not putting them off the beaten path where you have to drive to as a destination.
All right. So it's convenient for me as a parent. Okay. Got it.
Yep. Ease of access. Number 2 is our technology. We make it really simple for mom or dad to book a lesson, but not just one lesson. Most families have 2 kids, and they're usually 3 years apart. And so the algorithm within the software knows the lesson level of your child, and then can tell you what times are best suited for your kids, both kids at the same 30-minute window. So mom or dad can take the children to the swim lesson. They both are in separate lessons, different lesson levels. And then you can sit in the lobby and have a cup of coffee, relax, go on Instagram for 30 minutes and just kind of take a deep breath.
So, but other companies have scheduling things. What makes Big Blue's scheduling system so much better?
It's the algorithm, right? And so here's the other thing. We build more water, right? So that allows for more. So most schools have what we call 8 to 10 capacity planning lanes in a 10,000 square foot box. We build 13 capacity planning lanes. Okay. And what that extra 3 lanes does is it allows that 5-year-old to 10-year-old to still keep swimming when they've already learned to swim, right? And allows that 3-year-old who's just starting to learn to swim to start to learn to swim at the same time the 5-year-old is progressing with their skills. And so your competitors just can't do that. They don't have the capacity to handle that. And so what ends up happening is that 5-year-old has to do another activity now. They have to stop continuing to learn and reinforce their skills and go do baseball, softball, whatever, basketball.
Okay.
And so then parents have to split up.
All right. So you have a way in which you can kind of provide for all because your facility is designed to do that. I want to touch on the technology because I think one of the things that I believe I heard was earlier that, with the technology, you guys invested a lot of money. And I think that separates the scheduling, all that kind of stuff, because it's not a shelf product. You guys actually built it from the ground up and spent a lot of money doing it.
Yeah, so we're not configuring someone else's product. This was thought out based on 2 swimmers that co-founded this and understanding, we have 11 different lesson levels. We have 400 different skills we have to test for. We have, all these different kids coming in that might like to only work with a female or a male. And so all of these little details make the experience unique. And so the software really allows for mom or dad to really customize their experience when they walk through the door. But not only that, it also allows them to track, right? So we have sensors in the pool that ultimately can track the distance of the child that they're swimming. So mom or dad don't, if you say at the other facilities, our competitors, your son or daughter is a dolphin swimmer. What does that mean? Can I go to the lake? Can I go to the ocean? And how can I take my eye off my son or daughter? Here, we like my son does 200, last week he did 240 feet crawl stroke by himself, just back and forth, 240 feet, no stopping. And a 5-year-old, that's pretty amazing. I know now he can swim 240 feet without me looking.
Yeah.
And so as a mom or dad, knowing the stamina and the distance that your child can swim is very powerful.
Wow, that's pretty cool. All right, what else separates Big Blue from the competition?
Our methodology, our EDMC principles, explain, demonstrate, mimic, correct. We're not teaching a child just to be safe around water when like a monkey crawl on the wall or anything like that. We're teaching or how to roll over on their back. We're teaching them breath, propulsion, what balance and buoyancy. And our teachers, if a 3-year-old can swim 100 feet with a front crawl effectively, we're not going to keep them at a lower level. We're going to keep progressing that child. So there's no limitations to where they can, so I've seen 5-year-olds swim 500 feet in a facility. And that's, to me, that's being safe around water, knowing that my son or daughter can, if they get away from the wall or something, they can swim back. not just being able to float on their back in the water.
That's very cool.
So the methodology is really about propulsion and actually swimming.
Yeah. When I visited the Big Blue School here in Chicago, I was amazed when I went into the mechanical room. Can you tell me a little bit? Because it's like stated. I was very, very cool.
Yeah. So as a franchisee, we've thought of everything too. So the technology connects. So Lesson Buddy connects to all of our pump rooms. So you'll be able to if you were in Aruba and you go look on your phone, you can see the temperature of the water. You could see the chlorine levels. You can see the pH levels right on your phone. And if there's an issue, you can, increase the pH or decrease the chlorine or whatever it is from your phone. And it allows for that, and then if you walk into a pump room, it's loud. But we have multiple filtration points. So the water in that facility is turned over. The entire pool is turned over 4 times in an hour.
Oh, wow.
So, people are afraid of COVID. Chlorine kills COVID. UV kills COVID. And so we have UV filtration, plus we have sand filtration. So we filter the water down to 0.04 microns, which nothing can get through essentially.
Wow. That's pretty cool. All right. So what else? What else is so special about Big Blue?
We have Level X. We've got all these kind of neat things we're doing, from a research and development standpoint. When your son or daughter levels up, right, in the pool, immediately on deck, the supervisor clicks in the system, and in the lobby, you're getting a notification that your child, did X, Y, or Z skill.
That's cool. Got to make the kids feel good.
Everyone likes to see their name in highlights. So
absolutely, from a standpoint, cool. And when you come into a market, I would think that everybody kind of knows I go to this place to get swim lessons, right? So when you guys come in, how do you find the parents? What kind of marketing you guys do to get engaged in the community?
So Brooke Malik, who's our VP of marketing, she came from Pepsi. She's just pretty awesome, and her team, they're basically putting together an entire digital campaign. We have Salesforce journeys built out. Sarah Otepka, who's also on our team, she worked at Amazon, founded the Kindle. She built a shopping cart process, so it's very simple. Mom or dad think about buying swim lessons once a week, right? And so if they're at the stoplight and they fill out a certain portion of the application, they don't lose that information. The next time they're at the stoplight, it's the next step in the process. And we send reminders out on that. But we do a ton of digital marketing, and it's a lot of social marketing. We do a lot of influencers in the market. We tend to launch the pools with 800 to 1,000 swimmers with our pre-sales.
Holy cow. Wait, just want to make sure I understand that correctly. So when they open the doors for the first lesson, they've already got 800 people signed up?
Yep. So we opened Johns Creek in COVID. We kind of lowered our expectations because of people being concerned, the consumer not wanting to come. And we opened with over 700 swimmers.
Holy cow. That's amazing. That's great marketing. I got to tell you, congratulations.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. It's pretty neat. The marketing, I think, is one of our sweet spots.
Yeah.
So.
And how many open locations do you have now?
We have 6 open and we have 120 sold. We just sold 35 2 days ago to a private equity group here in Atlanta Equities. So Woody Alperin's the CEO. They bought Florida. The rest of Florida is sold out now. Georgia's sold out. They bought South Carolina. They bought North Carolina. They bought Nashville and then Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
So Southeast Swim School. We're really excited about those guys. They're going to go very fast. But we've got 17 pools slated to open next in 2021.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've heard great things of my candidates that have went through the process. So congratulations. So the drill now. I'm going to ask you a couple random questions just to get you going.
Sure.
And the first one I would ask is share a productivity hack that you use. So to be really productive, give us a hack that you use.
One of the things I do is, are you guys familiar with Calendly?
Yep.
I hate chasing people to schedule an appointment. I just send them my calendar and you pick a time that works best for you. That's just one thing I do. So I'm saving time chasing people. I also set up rules in my Outlook. So I get a lot of emails and I try to really filter them. So I'm only focused on the stuff that's a priority. So definitely, if you want to try to get me, don't email me. Text is probably your best bet if you want an answer.
Okay.
And then I do like Teams now. We did use Slack before, but Slack is amazing. Slack's a great tool as well.
What is Slack? I don't know if I know of Slack.
So rather than emailing somebody, we have Microsoft Teams has a similar product, but Slack has each of our companies, right? So you have a workspace, and then within the workspace you have channels. So like if we're working on a project for X, like I can add all the people that are working on that project are in that channel, and we can quickly communicate. I can drop files in there, all for that particular project. So it's only for that project. And then if I need to DM somebody, I can DM somebody. And just like we all have these superpower computers in our hands, it's just a great tool to fast communication.
Very good. All right. So the last question I'll ask you is, how do you create goals for yourself?
I use a system called Measure What Matters. It's called OKRs, Objectives and Key Results, for my team. Google uses that. And we basically every quarter we get together and we review the learnings from the previous quarter. And then we set targets and try to have some lead measures or key results that drive those goals. And we focus on that.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. I might have to check that out too. So very good. Well, it has been a pleasure to have you on today.
Well, thanks for having me, Pete and Nat and everybody else for listening. So
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
All right, let's rock and roll.
Thanks for listening to the Hire Yourself podcast. For more resources, check out our website at hireyourself.com. And remember to subscribe to this podcast to receive each episode. Please leave us a rating, and we'd love to hear your feedback or suggestions for topics.